This is Jonathan Agoff here for Pro Boxing Fans. Delighted to be joined by unbeaten middleweight Denzel Bentley. A few days since your unanimous draw with Mark Heffron. Denzel, how do you sum up Saturday night? You've had a few days, I guess, to reflect on it. Not the result you would have wanted, I know, but a great fight nonetheless. How'd you sum it up?
I'm happy everyone enjoyed it. Obviously, as I've said a few times, I'm not happy with the result. I'm not happy with how the judges scored it and stuff, but I thought I won the fight, and apparently now he thinks he won the fight. But when you look at the instant reactions, you can see he was more confident that they won. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. We get a chance to run it back. So as soon as we get confirmation of the rematch, again.
Still got you? Yeah, still got you.
Yeah.
It was a very intriguing fight, as a lot of people thought it would be. Probably a bit more tactical, I guess, than people thought it would be, considering both of your powers. The early rounds, did you feel like you were in control, especially because of the second round knockdown?
Yeah, I thought I won the first 4 rounds. And then from there, it started getting, a bit closer and closer. And I watched it back, and then I saw I had a good 8th round, and I had a good 10th round. I know I had a good 10th round because I finished strong, but I know I had a bad 9th round. 6, I started strong. He finished stronger, so you could score it wherever. The 7th, I give to him. I think I won the first 4. The 8th, I think I had a good round, but it was just mainly movement. So, I don't know how the judges scored it. And the 10th, I thought I finished strong. But the thing is, you don't know what the judges are scoring. They're just scoring aggression and moving forward. And that's probably why he might, been able to pull it back. But I more shots than I did in the fight. He says I just hit him with a few jabs, but of course he's gonna say things like that. But I don't know, man. It would just be nice to know what the judges were scoring.
The second round knockdown, did it come a bit too early for you in the fight, looking back in hindsight?
Yeah, it probably could have. Because in my head, like, I'm in a big fight, biggest fight of my career so far, and first time getting 10 rounds, all of that stuff, stepping up, all of that stuff. I'm counting the rounds in my head. So as I'm counting the rounds, I'm scoring it. So when the second round came, I was like, that's it. I'm basically 3 rounds up because I got the knockdown. That's obviously a 10-8 round. So I thought I'm up by a bit here. So it didn't make me take my foot off the gas, but then I think I was comfortable enough to be like, I can come back again strong at the end. I switched off because I'm just thinking to myself, saying, well, pace yourself, make sure you don't gas out. You want to finish strong. If you don't finish strong, it can look bad. All these types of things in my head that I'm kind of like talking to myself. But that's just due to lack of experience, like going that kind of fight or being in a fight of that kind of magnitude, you feel me? But at the end of the day, you could say it came too early. You could say that. But I knew when I dropped him, he wasn't hurt. That's why I didn't jump on him. That's one thing I can say for certain, yeah.
How much of that was also because it was your first 10 rounder? So I'm guessing the plan wasn't to go and blow him out like so early on because you wanted to see how you did over the 10 rounds. Is that a fair point?
Yeah, you could say that. But that was like getting towards the middle rounds where I started thinking, don't like just, just don't blow yourself out. Like, I know I'm fit. I do it in the gym, but in my mind, I've never done it in a fight, and it's just like it was just playing on my mind in the middle of the fight. But in the early rounds, I think I started nice and fast. I think I started good. I think I won the first 4 without a doubt, and then the 10th 100%, and then the 8th I thought I had a good round as well. But like I said, it's one of those things where I'd let rounds with someone that you're going to, and going in 10 rounds with someone that you think you can beat. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's different. Like, there's a difference between thinking you can beat someone and knowing, this is a fight for me to win.
You were very sort of elusive in there, quite similar to your last fight where you're sort of fighting off the back foot, but you did it even more in this fight. What did you make of sort of your performance, in particular your back foot boxing? You said sort of the middle rounds you weren't sort of as effective as early on, but do you feel you were still effective, but just on the back foot?
Yeah, I thought I was effective on the back foot. that's what I'm saying. And another thing, it goes to show that when people aren't seeing you used to fight in another way, they feel wait, if it's your style because of this person, so it means he must be winning. So like when I watched the back, I heard a commentator said, "Oh, we're not used to seeing Denzel on the back foot," but I think I boxed well on the back foot. But they just saw it as, "Oh yeah, he's letting Mark push him back," and Mark was, controlling the center of the ring. But just because you're controlling the center of the ring, it doesn't mean you're winning the fight. I think I made him miss a lot. I think I counted good, and none of that was mentioned. You know what I'm trying to say, like none of that was mentioned. That I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know what. I don't know, maybe because I didn't fight as people expected. But like I said to everyone, that's how I fight. When I'm in the gym and I'm sparring, that's how I move. That's how I spar. You know what I'm trying to say. The only thing I'd done wrong was I was drifting into the corners a lot. And that was just me, obviously, just thinking I'm comfortable there, thinking it's a safe spot. Because in the beginning, I do believe I was counting them well from the corners. But as I fatigued a little, I just, forgot to move and counter. But it is what it is.
So in hindsight, those sort of middle rounds, late rounds, would you have next time maybe stepped on the gas a bit more? Would that be what you think? I mean, it's hard to say now because it was a draw. So if you had won the fight, we wouldn't even be talking about this. But considering the result, do you regret any of the tactics at all?
I don't regret the tactics because I still think I won, and I think the majority of people think I won. I think the only reason why there's an excuse for people to say they think he might have won based on aggression because it was a draw. Because they got scored a draw, now people are looking for what the judges might have been scoring. But if I'd have got the decision, the conversation would be different. You know what I'm trying to say? So I think I'm not saying I'm not going to go out there and say it was a robbery. All three judges scored it the same. But I think if I'd have got the decision, it would have been understandable. If he'd have got the decision, a lot of people would have thought I got robbed. That's just my opinion, innit? But at the end of the day, I don't regret none of the tactics. I regret a few of the mistakes I made in the fight, but I don't regret the tactics that I came up to because I think that was the best way to try and win the fight. Just be myself and do what I do.
A lot of people, again, were probably writing you off beforehand, saying you didn't have the experience of being at that level. But how much did you prove to yourself and probably to the rest of the division with that display?
People were all right. Almost everyone was writing me off. Like some people didn't really want to say much because they thought, all right, let me not say anything because they probably thought I was going to lose anyway. People I know, like in the boxing world, were DMing me saying, "Oh, I think this is a bit too soon for you," and I'm thinking, all right, well, there's no point in talking about that now. You should have said it before I took the fight. I just kind of like brushed them off. And some people, and a lot of people just thought I was going to get knocked out late. They just thought, oh, he's going to get stopped late. But I showed I can hang there. I showed I can take a shot, even though there's no, like I said before, there's no glory in saying, oh, I can take a shot. Like I'm not supposed to get hit. But I showed I can dish it out. I can take it. I can move. I can survive the 10 rounds I survived the wrong word because I wasn't trying to survive. I can do 10 rounds comfortably, finish strong, and come back and take shots from who everyone was saying is a big puncher and was going to knock me out. People were on Twitter atting me and on their betting slips showing me that I'm going to get knocked out. Like no one outside of people that know me or family and friends thought I was going to win this fight.
How many rounds do you think you won the fight then by?
I think I won the first 4, hands down. And I think I won the 10th. So that's a solid 5 rounds plus the knockdown. And I also think, watching it back, I've done well in the 8th. That's 6 rounds. 6 rounds, 5 rounds at least.
You mentioned that 9th round where he did seem to hurt you a bit. How hurt were you in the moment? I mean, you showed your chin, proved your chin there as well. But how hurt were you when he landed that big? Was it a right hand, I believe?
There was a left hook.
Left hook.
Yeah, I recovered in that in a second. He hit me with a shot. Anyone that gets hit with a shot on the chin is gonna feel it, innit? If I took it on the top of the head and it hurt, then yeah, maybe I could say. But the when you get hit on the chin, it kind of like just discombobulates you. So I don't know if hurt's the right word because it wasn't like I was in pain, but it kind of shook me up. It shook me up, and it was a good shot. But I recovered in like a second, so that shows my fitness and my and my punch resistance. As soon as he jumped on me, came back and got out of the corner and started throwing my jabs again. But at the end of the day, it was a good shot, but I think it was just due to fatigue as well as the the timing and the accuracy of that shot. It was a very good shot, but I think fatigue made me, shook me up a little bit, because when he was catching me, well, he didn't really catch me much, but the odd time he did catch me with them shots in the early rounds, it didn't affect me like that.
You said to me before the fight, and I didn't really pick up on it when I spoke to you, but when I watched the interview back, you said to me something quite interesting. You don't know what you're going to do until you get in there. Was that the same sort of thing that happened when you got in there? It's just in terms of adapting.
Yeah, literally. It's like I had an idea in my head of what I wanted to do, but just sometimes based on my, the energy or however I feel as the bell rings is how I come out. Like, for example, the Kelsey Ball fight, in my head I was going to come out and box. You know what I'm going to say? And then when I got in there, I just went in there and just got rid of him in the round. So with Mark, obviously I knew I wanted to be a bit careful because of his power. I've never fought his power. I don't know how hard he hits. I felt it now, so it'll be a different story the next time round. I felt him now, and I'm sure he probably thinks the same. He knows that I'm about whatever. But I just literally, generally, until that bell rang, I couldn't tell you, in all honesty, what I'm going to do. Because, like you say, you have a game plan, but ultimately you make it up on the night because you don't know what the other person is going to do neither.
You think you won. Mark thinks he won. It's going to be a rematch.
He's going to say that. He doesn't think he won, but it's cool. He's going to say that. Just look at it back. Look at the instant reaction. Look at the instant reaction of both of us. That's what I'm going to say. Obviously, he's watched it back now, and there's the case to why he thinks he won. He's seen it, whatever. But it is what it is, man. Like you said, there's going to be a rematch. We're going to run it back. When we get the date for that, we'll see. And it will be a different fight again. It ain't going to be the same fight. It's going to be a different fight again.
So you genuinely don't believe that he thinks he won the fight and he's just saying this?
Based on what I saw on the night, I don't believe he thinks he won the fight. Because after that, he said he won every round apart from the round he got dropped. Like, come on, bro. Who says that? Who says that? Like, be honest with yourself. And then he said he watched it back and he won 7. So you went from winning 9 rounds to 7 rounds. For him to watch it again, he might have lost another 2 rounds. And now, instead of winning 7, he might have won 5. Do you know what I mean? So it is what it is. I was honest from the beginning. I didn't come and say, I won every round, I won that, I pissed that. I told you it was definitely a close fight. I let him come back in the fight because I fell asleep in the middle rounds. That's due to lack of experience. But at the end of the day, I think I started better than him. And plus the knockdown, that's what I made the fight. But he said about 100 different things to why he won the fight. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, isn't it? Obviously, he's got to back himself. He's always going to back himself. He's not going to come out there and say, oh, yeah, I think I lost. So let him say what he's going to say. When we get to run it back, like I said, it's going to be a whole different fight again. I don't know what I'm going to do again, but it's going to be a different fight.
You sound like you'd fight this Saturday if you could.
Yeah, I would. I actually would. I'm actually fuming like that. I've been calm, getting over it, and then I think about it again. I think, no, I actually fuck that, man. I actually think I won. You know what I'm going to say? So, I actually just want to get back in there. So the sooner the better for me, man. Just run it back, man.
Well, we know that rematch is definitely bigger now. Is it, from your understanding, possibly going to land on this Dubois Joyce fight? I mean, I know we don't know when that's going to happen, but what sort of dates and months are you thinking maybe this rematch might happen?
I don't know. I haven't been in the gym or spoke to my manager about that. Or obviously, I've asked him, of course, but obviously he's got to meet up with Frank and all of that before they decide what's going on. But at the end of the day, because we don't really know what's going on with the Dubois card, it would be nice to be on there, but I don't really think I want to if it's going to keep getting pushed back, because it's going to be really annoying to just think, oh, okay, October 24th is the date, and then the government come and say, oh, we're still not allowing fans, or the board come and say, yeah, there's not allowed no fans. They say, all right, then we have to push it back again. It's waiting forever, innit? So if they got any shows there that, they can put us on, that'd be good. But with a crowd, 100%, it will be bigger. But I'm not really too bothered about all that with a crowd stuff and bigger fight and, oh, let's make the most of it. I just want to run it back and make it right. I'm not bothered about trying to make it right and get this off my conscience and do what I set out to do in the beginning.
That said as well, there's a chance, I think, that the British title possibly might be on the line, depending on if Liam vacates it after his fight. Have you even thought of that? Do you think that might be on the line?
Listen, I don't know what Liam's doing. Liam hasn't vacated. He hasn't defended it in over a year and hasn't vacated it. I know he's defended it now, but I'm not even too bothered about no more. Like, my main focus is setting that right. If the British title's on the line, even better. But my main focus is setting that right. If he doesn't vacate and he wants to hold on to it and carry on being a British champion and domestic level fighter, cool, whatever. Let me just sort out what I got to sort out with Mark. And when I win that fight, we move on and then we can focus on the British. But if it's on the line, even better. Just even better. But it's not going to be a thing where it's not on the line, so I'm not taking the fight. Do you know what I'm going to say? My main focus is running it back and setting that straight, because at the end of the day, if I got the decision the other night, we wouldn't be talking about the British with Mark. I'd be talking about who's the British champion now. That's who I want. But I can't talk about that now because it's still unfinished business. So it's just one of those things, isn't it?
Mm. And in terms of sort of the rematch, we'll obviously talk about it way more when it does get announced. But what are you feeling right now towards it?
Just do it ASAP, man. Like, just as soon as possible. I'll be back in the gym in a minute. So there's no point of being in the gym and not having a date. Even if I got the decision, I wanted to be back out again this year anyway. So it is what it is. If we can get it again this year and have one more fight before that year and do that rematch, then let's go. But that's what I want more than anything. I still want to be out at the end of this, before the year's out, regardless. But listen, if you can get the rematch, even better, man. That's what I want. That's what I'm focused on.
Just wondering, when you've done 10 rounds like you did with Mark, obviously you're going to know him a lot better and know what he's about. Have you already thought about sort of how you're going to approach this rematch, having done 10 rounds already with it?
Yeah, I have. Of course, them thoughts run through your mind and that, like, oh, I'm going to do this next time or do this next time, because I've done what I've done and I think I won and I didn't get the decision. So there's no point in doing that again, is there? So you always think about other things that you could have done better, that you could change a little bit, things you can tweak. Obviously, I know the mistakes I made, so I ain't going to be making them again. Or I'm going to be working on them anyway to not make them again. But you're always going to have them thoughts in it, and I've had them thoughts, yeah.
Have you spoken to your trainer Ray and Martin Bowers about the fight? I'm sure you have.
Yeah, I talked to them about it. They're all in agreement with me. They thought we won. But at the end of the day, they did tell me, yes, you made some mistakes, but that didn't cancel out the work you done. They all think I've done well, proud of me, told me to keep my chin up. Like, you done what you needed to do, and listen, we just have to go again and set it straight next time.
Okay, just away from that for one moment, just two fights I wanted to get your opinion on coming up. Jamal Charlo and Sergei Derevyanchenko next Saturday night. What do you reckon about that fight?
Obviously, Jamal Charlo needs to fight Rosario if he wants to be unified champion. So there's kind of a reason there. But Jamal Charlo does not need to fight Derevyanchenko. He doesn't need to fight him. He could skip that and just fight whoever else or try to unify, whatever. They're both tough fights. Rosario just stopped J-Mac Williams. So that's gonna be a tough fight. But I think the tougher fight is Charlo and Derevyanchenko. Derevyanchenko's a tough dude. Tough dude.
Do you have a prediction?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Charlos, both of them. But listen, don't be surprised it doesn't upset, man. But I'm just gonna go with the Charlos.
And literally just announced just before I came on with you was the rematch between Dillian Whyte and Alexander Povetkin.
Yeah, I saw that.
Speak to you about the first fight. What did you make of the stunning knockout and now this rematch?
Yeah, I kind of missed the first fight, but I watched it back and I thought Dylan was doing well. He was doing his thing, but I think he might have just got complacent a bit, thinking he was winning, because I think an old Dylan would have jumped on him, or a more alert Dylan would have jumped on him and tried to finish him. But only he knows if he felt like Povetkin was hurting there. If he didn't feel like he was hurting, of course, you're going to take your time and do your thing. But Povetkin just came with the stunning knockout, man. Like, there's nothing much you can really say. That knockout kind of just showed that it doesn't matter what way a fight's going. But the rematch should be interesting. The rematch should be very interesting. I'm still going to bet Dillian Whyte to win just because he was winning. So he knows what to do to win. He just got to stay concentrated this time and not fall for that shot again.
All right, well, Denzel, good to catch up. Look forward to hearing some news on this rematch between you and Mark Heffron. And
Yeah,
yeah, all the best in I guess the time you've got off now, which is what, a week,
yeah.
and then back in the gym.
Back in the gym.
Brilliant. Roll on the rematch.
Let's run it back. Ready?